the driver's door, it doesn't open. Hey guys, I'm Sam Crack, and this is one of the most ridiculous but unique auction cars I've ever seen in my life. Now, when this very strange, heavily modified 1985 Firebird showed up at my friend Alex's house, it wouldn't start, it wouldn't run, it wouldn't even crank, not even by hand. Alex called me very stressed out and said,
Sam, there might be a catastrophic engine issue with the Firebird, and I'm pulling my hair out trying to figure it out. And dude, you know how important my hair is to me.
And I told Alex to hold the phone. His videos just wouldn't be the same without his perfect hair. So I turned him on to Keeps, a revolutionary new way to prevent hair loss. Hair loss is just a factor of life. Guys, 2 out of 3 of us will experience some sort of male pattern baldness by the age of 35. Another friend of mine, Rich Rebuilds, unfortunately is a victim of this statistic. Here's the last known picture of him before he decided to completely shave his head. Like working on a car, preventative maintenance is key, and that's where Keeps can help you with their FDA-approved hair loss treatments at prices the local drugstore just can't compete with. Keeps treatments are up to 90% effective at reducing and stopping further hair loss, and it's super simple to get started since everything is done online, skipping the trip to your doctor's office, and treatments are delivered directly to your doorstep. Keep your mind on the most important things in life and keep it off of hair loss. When you visit keeps.com/samcrack or click my link in the description box below, you'll save 50% off your first treatment when you join. Now, I gotta give a huge thanks to Keeps for not only keeping my hair exactly where it belongs, but for also sponsoring this video. With a final bid of only $1,100, the risk on this strange Firebird wasn't tremendous, but it wasn't my money, so it's easy for me to say. One of my recent purchases, the 2004 Range Rover I bought for $1,400, could at least be considered modern enough to get your money back in parts. But 1985 wasn't a good year for American muscle cars. I'd imagine a car like this Firebird in stock condition at auction is only worth a few $100 and not much more. Its strange cosmetic appearance is what drew Alex in and extended his budget to over $1,000. The first time I spoke to Alex after the Firebird was delivered, he was near convinced the engine was locked up. This is a huge probability when buying mechanically damaged cars at the salvage auction. A lot of these strange cars with clean titles are donated. Charities pick these cars up free of charge, sell the cars at auction, and the proceeds are collected. Now, a lot of these cars tend to be donated because they aren't worth much. Either they're old or they have a problem. You'll see a ton of donated lots listed with mechanical damage at this salvage auction. In some circumstances, the cash value can be higher to donate the car and write it off as a charitable contribution instead of trading it in or selling it private party. Either way, this unsuspecting Firebird, or as I've dubbed it, the Fiberbird, ended up being a home run. Alex has done a great job documenting its story from its builder to its previous owners on his channel, Legit Street Cars, but I think this car is more interesting from a cheap auction flip perspective. There's a lot of popular stocks out there that you probably heard of, like Amazon, Facebook, Google, Netflix, that traders use just as a trading mechanism to try and make a quick buck, not as a long-term investment. And cars generally are not long-term investments. So when it comes to the auctions, and specifically the salvage auctions, a lot of people are looking in the same place to try and buy a car that needs a little bit of repair and flip it to make their quick buck, like a lot of Hondas and Toyotas. But these become very crowded spaces at the auctions. And what they're called in the stock market with these popular stocks are the crowded trades. You can always do better looking where not a lot of people are looking, and that's exactly what this Firebird is. I don't think many people were looking at it. Again, Alex only picked it up for $1,100, and it's not even the probably months of custom body work that went to the exterior. It's what's underneath the hood. So what I want to do is grab Alex. I want him to come and show us everything about this car, specifically some of its really, really outrageous and somewhat inconvenient features. And then I want you to tell me what you think it's worth. I personally think he could get 5 times the amount of money he's spent on this car.
Popping the hood on this car is not as easy as you think, mostly because it's about 2 feet longer and the cables aren't hooked up or anything. Oh. Sam, did you get how thick the fiberglass is? It's about an inch in some spots over here.
Yeah. Well, you can feel it if you just knock on it like this. It sounds solid.
All right, so this is borderline a 2-man job, so I'm gonna pull up. Come on, baby.
I see it moving a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Can you get it?
Okay, so just hold it?
You just pull it up.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, wait, hang on. Let me do the hook thing. Okay, go now. There you go.
Whoa. Okay.
Woo. Yeah, it's a...
That's a factory hood, right?
Factory hood, but now step 2 of opening the hood is getting some channel locks, or vice grips, vice grips. People correct you on vice grips versus channel locks. Check out the comment section.
It's a good idea.
There you go. So now we're good. Now we can work on the engine. So right off the bat, to me, this car looks like a total movie car. It's about 2 feet longer than a normal Firebird of this era, even compared to my WS6. It's way longer. And check it out. It was originally blue. So this thing was repainted multiple times, actually. It was never black all the way back there. But I spoke to the longtime owner of this car, 20 years. He owned this car right after the guy built it. And he put about $10,000 into the drivetrain, which is crazy. So this, I wasn't sure what this was when I got it because all the small blocks basically look the same. This is a Jegs Crate 350. So this comes complete from the carburetor with the air cleaner all the way down to the oil pan. This was about $3,500 for the engine. Then he added the headers, complete exhaust system, and at the same time he replaced the 700R4 automatic transmission right from Jegs with a little bit higher stall converter. So it has about $1,000 worth of suspension parts as well. So the guy put like 10 grand into the drivetrain alone. It doesn't have that many miles, so that's a big plus, something I gambled on because it could have had the 160-ish horsepower 305 that these cars came with back in '85.
So once you finally got this engine running, it really wasn't running 100%. And hands down, my favorite video was how you've got it running 100%. Well, it really wasn't you. It was a very unique guy.
It was my friend Mr. Hickey and his son Brendan. So Mr. Hickey is a blind mechanic. He's been blind since birth. He's owned his own shop here in Chicago for 27 years. And he knows his way around a carburetor, which is something I'm not super familiar with. So Mr. Hickey and Brendan came out and they fine-tuned this carburetor to perfection. I mean, to the point where we put a wideband O2 sensor in the tailpipe of a carbureted engine, and it came out at 14.7 to 1. Perfect. So he really knew his stuff. Got in here right to work. He beat me in a spark plug changing competition. I got the easy side, he got the hard side, and he smoked me. So really fun to make that video with him. He got this thing running like a top, and right now, as you guys have seen, it fires right up, it runs great. I put maybe like 50 miles on it and it's perfect. So the way I found this car was actually Sam. He sent me a picture of it at an auction lot and I said, I have to have it. So that day we bid on the car, we won it for $1,100. Coincidentally, the shipper was at the lot right at that moment. And I got the car the very next day, and something I didn't notice in any of the auction pictures was the extent of this bodywork. So if you notice here, the front bumper to the fender, there is no line, there's no separation. This is all one big piece, and I don't think it can be removed at all at this point. Who knows how much it weighs. At some points, the fiberglass is about 1 inch thick. If you go over to the back, you can see it has shaved door handles. My awesome seat strap door handle now. But yeah, all of this is totally custom molded. I mean, and this is thick, man. Like, this weighs a lot. And then this rear quarter panel to the back bumper, you only get a little dip down here, but there's no separation either. So the quarter and the bumper, all one piece, probably very heavy. And the guy spent about 3 years, I spoke to the guy who built this, he spent 3 years in his own garage handcrafting this car. So 3 years of his life dedicated to this. And then he sold it to a guy that owned it for 20 years, and it's been passed around a few more times. But Something that I found very interesting in my first video on this car, I could not open the hatch. I eventually got it open. This thing weighs a couple 100 pounds. It is very difficult to open, and I think Sam should try opening it.
Wait, you had a challenge. What was the challenge?
I had a challenge. I told everybody that if they could open the hatch and bench press this 10 times, I'll buy them a cup of coffee. And then we had a little cars and coffee meet, and no one did it. It's just very, very heavy, very hard to get this thing open, and kind of dangerous.
So while Alex is figuring out how to open this rear deck, which requires specialty tools, right here, this is where the taillight is. If you look really close, you see it in there. This is like feels like a piece of maybe plastic or plexiglass that just in there with some nice Phillips head screws.
And we actually have to take these off.
Oh my!
Only because you can't get your hands in there to grip it.
Do you have a full like power tool set that you keep?
I'm gonna have to buy one now. Yeah.
You keep it in the hatch, but you can't even get in the hatch of the car. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that just really, I mean, it doesn't make sense.
It was honestly, it was built like a movie car. I think it was built like something that wasn't really meant to ever be used. It was meant to be shown, and that's what this is. I mean, it's completely impractical. It probably weighs 1,000 pounds more than it did from the factory, and you have to use a tool like this to open up your back hatch. We only have about 6 more to go.
Oh, and they're all different.
Oh yeah, oh they're different. Like this one's.
This is a Phillips set.
Yeah, this one's kind of stripped.
So is this part the factory taillight here?
Yeah, that looks to me like the factory taillight. And they literally just moved it.
Yeah. So that's part of it that they just took the plastic off, or?
Yeah, I think this is, unless it's from another car, but it kind of does look like the Firebird one.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You could just see the layers of like whatever. This is seam sealer probably.
Yeah.
In there. And
all right. Well, you better set up the tripod, dude. There's no way you can do this one-handed.
No.
All right. So the first step to this is hitting the one and only orange button here. All right, Sam.
Are you serious? I don't think I'm gonna get one.
Come on, you can do it. Oh, don't do that. Watch the wing. Watch the wing.
Here.
We don't want to break the wing off.
I see. I'm gonna. How in the heck did you even get it,
dude? I mean,
from what angle? My fingers are already caught.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if we gotta hit it again.
Yeah, that's not doing me any help. Oh my God. You can't even be.
I'm telling you, and when I spoke to the guy that owned it for 20 years, he's like, yeah, you can get it open, no problem. I'm like, what do you mean, no problem?
I don't want to lose my fingers today.
All right, you want to see how it's done? It took me a long time of like practice and whatever. You might have to hit the. Oh my God.
It said it's extra cold right now.
Oh, Jesus. Hold on. Okay,
dude.
Woo! Okay, so hang on. Let me see if I can do this like 10 times. This is what I challenged people to do. All right, ready? Let go. I got it.
Don't hurt yourself.
One. Dude, this is a workout.
So these are the factory.
These are the factory hood struts, which, I mean, this is a heavy, hatch to begin with, but yeah. I mean, come on. This is
look, you can see underneath here. This is very cool.
Yeah.
Here is everything. All that molding, the wing that I almost ripped. Look, you can see how it's glued on.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fix that.
Barely, yeah. Are you really gonna fix this car?
I don't know. I'm just gonna drive it the way it is.
Yeah, and he just got all this.
And we have a massive bazooka tube back here. And funny enough, this car has a super rare option, a factory subwoofer option in 85. There's a button in there to turn it on and off and move a gain knob over. Crazy. 85, none of them had it, so it's kind of a rare car. You can see in here, like, what is this? Like, this is like some, it's like square. Like, he had to, how did he make that? I wonder if it's like a piece of wood that's, that's just fiberglassed over. It looks like it. Doesn't it does.
It does.
I think it's literally a piece of wood.
There's a piece of foam in there, is what it feels like.
Okay, yeah, that would make more sense. Right?
Yeah. Well, it's not like it would add too much more weight.
Right. Might as well be made of wood. All right, are we done back here, Sam?
We're done.
Okay, here we go. This is probably one of the hardest parts too, because you don't want to get your hands
Could you imagine going grocery shopping in this thing?
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Woo! Oh my my God.
Yeah. I mean, it's like an actual liability.
All right, so one thing that you kind of said, but this is what we got to focus in on right here. This is how you open the car, because again, the shaved doors, there's no door handles, and all this is what, a piece of seatbelt or something?
Yeah, it is. Now, the guy that built the car said that this thing had some kind of electronic popper system back in 1991. I have no idea what he's talking about. He said it's in here somewhere, but I don't see how that works. I don't see anything, so I don't know.
Magnets. Very heavy magnets.
Yeah. So at this point, I mean, I'm just gonna drive it when it's nice out, have the windows down, and whatever.
And when you close it, doesn't this the first time I got in the car, I told Alex, like,
yeah, it doesn't really. Oh, you know what? We got the nitrous bottle in the way.
Oh. Is there any plans to add nitrous to the car?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's just storage.
This is storage. Oh, look at. I think this is about as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Like, that's flush. That's nice.
When I first closed it, I asked Alex, I'm like, listen, I just cannot close this door.
Yeah, look at, oh, that's, look
it's
at
supposed
this.
to.
Oh, these are, oh, wow. Oh, look at this. This is like the door skin.
Popping off?
Popping off? I mean, it's probably been like that, but yeah.
Well,
you know, whatever.
Add some character to the car that already has too much character.
It needs to lose a little bit of character and gain some practicality.
I want to thank Alex for giving me the opportunity to look around this. Well, I think it's ridiculous.
Right.
But
most people do.
But ridiculous it will not be when you go to sell it. Do you have plans to sell it?
I do, but not just yet. I think it's winter now. I'm going to drive it in the spring and summer. I got to chop the catalytic converter out and put a new cat in. It's totally plugged up from running too rich. But the guy that owned it for 20 years did reach out. He wants first dibs on it. Him and his wife owned this for 20 years. They loved it and they drove it a lot. So I think seeing the videos is kind of, you know.
I think there's a higher bidder watching right now. Contact legitstreetcars@gmail.com. And don't forget to watch Legit Street Cars channel here on YouTube. I'm going to have links down in the description box below. Again, Alex, always a pleasure in this garage.
Of course.
We got to work on another project soon.
Yes, yes we do. And I will see you with my new project in Florida.
Okay, that is right. Yes, this is coming very soon. So make sure you follow both of us on Instagram because that's where I post first.
Me too.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for watching today, and I'll catch you very soon.
Ciao.
Ciao. There you go. You did it.